And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Traveling up. Roger, Atlantic.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Fighting downside FD off. Bring in FD off. It's orange!
Orange 25! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If there's methane, would be igniting with the flare, correct?
Thanks. Keep red. Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Good morning, Starbase, and welcome to what is kind of the beginning of the booster part of the second launch campaign. We are looking at Booster 9, the booster that is designated to be the next booster to fly a Starship for an integrated flight test, rolling out with Raptor engines installed. And we are actually, to be fair, not looking at it right now, but trust me, it's on the road. Yeah, we decided for this part of the event because, well, it's an important milestone to the next flight to go live here. And the good thing is you don't have to listen to my voice alone here. We are a group of people, and there's Booster 9. You can see it on the left side here. It already left the production site. It's now on the road and on its way to the launch site. But let's go around the horn here and introduce everybody that will join me on today's webcast, starting with Alejandro Alcantarilla Romero. Alex, how is it going?
Oh boy, it is super exciting to see Booster 9 here preparing for potentially it's a static fire test campaign because it has its engines and maybe the launch pad is going to be fully ready in just a few days, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's really the beginning of this booster test campaign, which of course it did cryo testing before, but this is like the business part of the thing. So I'm looking forward to see what has happening the next few weeks. And also in the field, maybe some choppy internet we'll see, but we'll listen if he comes through clear. Jack is in the field with us and filming all of this. Jack, how is it in Starbase? Yeah, I think Jack has some. Yeah, Jack has some comms issues, but we promise Jack is there. He's out there. He's filming the booster right now, and we can see it moving. We can see it moving already. And also in the background, and totally happy that he has to be awake this early in the morning, is Kevin Michael Reed, who enjoys this a lot. Just pointing that out. And as always, with what we do here at NASASpaceflight, make sure to tag at NASASpaceflight in chat. There was a handy tool that Michael wrote for us that will make sure that we see all of your questions and yeah, can answer them. And Alex and I will probably do a little question and answer here, where we'll start to talk about what is happening here. So, Alex, do you want to first give us a quick rundown, like what is Booster 9? Where is it in its status? What did it before? And where it will probably go next? Oh, by the way, I'm Adrian Bile. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, but I always forget myself. Yeah, Alex, give us a quick rundown. What's Booster 9?
Yeah, so Booster 9 is the next booster in line for the next Starship flight. We hope to see in just a few months or maybe even weeks. And so Booster 9 was built sort of around the second half of last year. It went to the pad, it did its cryo-proof testing there at the pad, and then it went back to the Mega Bay at the production site here at Starbase, and then it got its engines, it got a lot of modifications, lessons learned from the first flight. We might talk about that a little bit later once we see it a little bit more closer, but yeah, it's just going out for, we hope at least, that it is for its static fire test campaign, because it had these engines. These engines have now better shields, as Elon mentioned a while ago, that the ones on Booster 7 were sort of badly retrofitted. It was sort of like an ad hoc thing that they had to do with it. But for Booster 9, this booster was made from the beginning to have these better, more robust shields between the engines, which arguably might have been what doomed Booster 7 on its flight. That, you know, there were a few Raptors here and there that blew up. Maybe if it had better shields, the other Raptors might not have gone out and it could have survived for a little bit longer. We won't know though, but maybe Booster 9 will give us an answer if that's the case. Hopefully it doesn't lose any Raptors though. The hope is that it doesn't need the shields at all, but it does have them, just in case.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go, Jack.
Hello.
What did you say, Alex? A few Raptors here and there? Is that really how we're going to classify it?
We have a whole 1 hour video. Actually, one hour video and then another that is like 25 minutes, talking all about what happened on the launch of a Starship. So, if you want a more in-depth talk from Das, none other than you know, Mr. Das. Yeah, I think that's probably a good rundown if you want to actually have a more in-depth conversation. We could talk about it here, but it will probably last too long. Even more than the rollout, probably. Because these rollouts, it's about an hour or so.
Yeah, it's going fast. Like, Jack, where are you located right now? What's your status? Give us a quick rundown. Nope, you're gone again.
Whoop.
Sorry, your internet is a bit spotty, but we tried. As you can see, Booster 9 is already on Highway 4. It left the production site as of like basically on time. They basically, as soon as the road closure at 6:30 started, they started to roll this thing. They already rolled it out onto the edge of the road before, and then they basically just waited for this to start because they need a rolling road closure for this. Apparently, people don't like if there's like a giant booster on their road. So let's talk about engines here a bit more, Alex, because there's differences also in like how the engine works on Booster 9 versus Booster 7, right?
Yes, so the Booster 7, the way that the 13 inner engines on the booster moved, it used hydraulics in order to move basically actuate the gimbal system on the Raptors. Now, the way that it does that for Booster 9 now is with electric servos, servos. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I'm really sorry. But yeah, it's by electrical gimbals. So instead of moving it via hydraulics, they use just drive. They are driven by electric servos, and so these 13 engines now, what they have is, you can see sort of on the shots when they were rolling out them and things like that, they have like this black thing where they used to have the more traditional pipe kind of looking thing to move the Raptor around and everything. It's really hard to actually describe it without a picture on screen, but I guess you get the idea that this simplifies a lot the way that the Raptors are actuated, because you save mass because you don't have a whole hydraulic system. In fact, Booster 7 had 2 hydraulic power units that powered the hydraulics. That's, you know, hence their name. And then you also save a lot of complexity because you don't have all of those systems running around. If the hydraulic fluid leaks or something like that, you may end up with just, you know, with no booster authority control at all. So, and arguably that might have been also one of the reasons why Booster 7 was lost. We will know, we will know really what the whole thing is all about, because really SpaceX hasn't said the whole explanation of what happened on that flight, but definitely might have played a role on that.
Yeah, these HPUs on the Booster 7 hardware look to be a bit iffy. Not only on the flight itself, where we saw like some things that could have been an HPU just blowing up. But also we saw earlier them being replaced a lot, them being open a lot. Like it seems to be that these HPUs being hydraulic pressure units, or power pressure.
Power. It's power. Yeah.
Hydraulic power units. Sorry. We saw them being a bit of a shaky candidate where they tend to be malfunctioning. So it's good there. I'm glad they're gone. I said it before. I was never that glad to see a hydraulic power unit gone. So just for recapping, because I'm not sure if we ever said this, Alex, how are they rolling down a booster? Because this is like a 17-meter high tower. They're right now rolling down a highway. So how are they doing this?
Well, they use the SPMTs, which are that stands for self-propelled modular transporter, and that's basically what it sounds. It's a transporter with a lot of wheels. I think each axis actually moves independently for like every pair of wheels and things like that. And then they can move on their own power. They don't need any tow, like they don't need to be towed or anything like that. And then they are also modular because they can be put together, and you have a larger SPMT, a lot of surface to be able to roll the thing. So what they do is they roll the SPMTs below the booster, the booster stand. It doesn't need to be craned on top or anything like that. The SPMTs already lowered themselves down, and they can adjust their height actually, because that road, you see it there, it actually has a tilt as you go through that sort of curve around the marshlands there. And so that listing, it needs to be compensated, that lean needs to be compensated with those SPMTs as they go around that curve. And so it's really a really good method to move things around Starbase if you consider everything that they need to go around. It can go below the stand, then lift it up. It has a bunch of counterweights as well, so that the center of gravity is low, and then the whole thing is stable during transport. It's really clever way to move these things.
Yeah, thank you. And just to point out again, we have the ability to ask questions here with NASASpaceflight in chat. And this is one of the situations where both of the people that are writing actually the Starbase update scripts, which are Alex and me, are both here. So we should be able to answer a lot of questions. And also Jack records a ton of them. So, and also is out there. So I think we have basically every part of Starbase knowledge here covered right now. So if you have any questions about this rollout, about Booster 9, about Ship 25, and about the OLM and repairs going on there, just ask. We'll make sure to hit them. And I also wanna start thanking some people here, because we got some very generous super chats here that are and some gifted memberships here that have started early in the morning here. And again, thanks to Jack and Kevin for being up at this early time in the morning. I want to thank Jack Waltz for 10 gifted Red Team memberships. Thank you so much. Matt for 10 Red Team memberships gifted as well. Travis Sissel for 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you so much. And also we have a $5 super chat from Travis as well. Come to tell a horrible, oh my god. Came to tell a horrible rocket pun. Stayed for the booster. I give you that. It was pretty terrible.
That's good.
And then we have Juan with $4.46 with morning coffee with a booster rolling. Count me in. Loved the intro video. Thank you so much, Juan. And also Java here coming through with tips.nasaspaceflight.com with a $200 super chat.
Wow.
Saying, good morning. I knew today would be a good day when it started with bacon and eggs. Yes, Jack, it was microwaved. You can't stop me. Thank you so much, Java. That's
Angry me
a lot
noises.
of money.
That's amazing.
That's so generous. And also Music Duck with 10 Red Team memberships gifted. Thank you so much. So that really that is a lot of generous support. And again,
can you hear me any better now?
Yes, I hear you, Jack.
Yay! Thank you, Jerwa.
There we go.
And
the internet stayed up.
One thing that I'll point out though, the gifted memberships are really a treasure trove, because when you go into the all the pictures that we publish, Jack has been amazing these days. He's been putting out a lot of photos. Like I remember yesterday he said something around 70 something photos that he was editing and they we published for members and things like that. It's a lot of content that we try to put out there, and really when you gift a membership, you're basically helping another person to get all of that access and being able to enjoy and basically be hyped about all of this, because this is cool. This is, I mean, I don't know, I'm really excited, even though I'm a little bit tired, but it's exciting stuff.
I love these pictures. Like I love to scroll. Like we have a Discord channel as well, which is like member level photos where you can see every picture that is posted by mostly like Chris B posting, and I love to scroll through them and just like go through them and look at all the little things, and it's just a bit of fun, a big fun of mine. We have to address something, Alex, because there's something on Booster 9 that should be there according to a certain person called Elon Musk. That is not there yet, which is the hot staging ring. So where's the hot staging ring? What's the status of that?
Yep, I've seen people talking about that in chat, and they're true. They're very, very right that they're rolling Booster 9, and there's no extension for the hot staging that Elon mentioned. And surely you could say, well, maybe they don't need it for this flight. Maybe they'll just do the hot staging as it is. Problem is, the ship quick disconnect, the umbilical that provides all the fluids and power and everything to the ship as it sits on top of the booster on the pad, that one has been raised already. It has been raised for basically the same height of a single ring, which is what we expect to be that new structure for hot staging. So it clearly seems like while it doesn't have it right now, when it launches, it should have it. Or even before that, whenever they do any stacking or anything, it already should have that extension ring. Now it could be that they all just they're just wanting to do that testing already and be like, let's do the testing and then we'll worry about the hot staging ring later. And that could be fair, right? Because you don't need the hot staging extension or anything for this kind of testing. You will be more worried about anything related with the engines, for example, or the pressurization systems or things like that, but certainly not about the hot staging ring. That can come later.
I think the only thing they, at this point, are committed to only can test with the hot staging ring would be a full stack. Because with the modifications of the QD arm, it no longer lines up with the old spot where you would attach the ship QD. So if they move at some point to full stack testing, that's when they need this hot staging ring. Otherwise you kind of just not connect the ship. So I think that's the limiting factor. I think as soon as we get to like full stack testing, that's when they need it. Speaking of timelines, we get some questions about timelines here, and there's always fun to answer as a commentator because there's no way to embarrass yourself with weird predictions. So let's start with the static fire. Do you think the static fire happens in the next few days? Noah is asking. Alex, do we think a static fire happens in the next few days?
It might not be right in the next few days, but maybe next few weeks, because I believe there's some work still left to do on the pad. But right now they can pretty much lift it on the pad and start to already connect everything and check out everything, because this is going to be the first time they put a booster back on the pad since the first flight. The last time a booster was on the pad, it was basically digging a hole on it, right? So it's wise to be like, well, we're rolling it out, we'll put it on the pad, check out systems and things like that. The whole past week, if you've been watching SPL Starbase Live, and frankly, our Starbase update videos and things like that, we talk about all of the testing that they have done on these upgrades. The booster Raptor quick disconnects have been tested. The ground systems like the tank farm, the vents on the OLM, on the tower and everything, all of that has been purged and thoroughly tested. They've tested the new water plate system as well for the pad. So the next step is just put a booster on it, light everything up, right? I mean, power on everything, more burst set, and then light the engines and see what happens, right? that's probably the better way to say that. Is that
There
a
we
new
go.
feed?
Yeah, is that Kevin? Can we get confirmation? Is that
Jack?
Is that a person called Jack Beyer sending his feed? So
That's
Jack's
Jack.
feed.
Right
So-
when it says next days, right on top.
The good thing about this feed now, and that's the one that makes me really exciting, is we will see some juicy Raptor engines here passing
Yeah.
our camera very, very soon. Which excites me because, let's be real, yeah, cryo tests are nice, and like deluge systems are nice, but I mean, you watch rockets for the engines, right? You
Yep.
watch them for the fire. So
But look at that.
seeing- Oh, there they. You can already see them. You can already see these beautiful Raptor engines.
Oh, I was
That's-
speaking before about the membership photos and like gift team memberships and everything. Jack captured close-up photos of these engines when it was out there on the Rocket Garden. You can see him. Well, you were able to see him before there, capturing more pictures. So you probably will see those later. But definitely one of the things that you can see on those pictures, and we can see now as well as it approaches, these new shields appear to have like some kind of material, like they are black on the bottom, which I don't remember seeing on Booster 7. They are similar in shape
Yeah.
here, but it suddenly
it's
seems that
different,
it's
yeah.
maybe a different material. Yeah.
And also the HPUs,
yeah.
like look at the lower area of the booster. It's much more.
There's no HPUs.
Yeah, there's like there's no
Exactly.
area. There's no HPUs. It's only the chimes now, and you can see the booster QD there on the right side. That's the booster. The booster quick my God, quick disconnect, which
Yeah.
where it will connect to the
Okay,
OLM
because-
and everything. Go ahead.
Because I'm seeing comments about this on chat. Little detour. If you look even more to the right, you can see a dead ship. They've cut ship 27 in half.
Yeah, it's like
But
they
we
try
can cover
to
about that later.
they try to distract us right now. They're like, hey, look at this booster and don't look at that ship in the
Don't-
background. It's,
Exactly. But we have cameras looking at it, and we'll have
Yeah.
next video that we put out, we'll have it. So don't worry. You will be
Yeah,
able to see the whole thing.
I think we can pretty much confirm at this point that ship 27 might not be a flight candidate anymore.
You think?
Yeah, I think cutting it in half is a pretty clear significant factor, and like showing like, yep, that's not gonna fly. And
Look at
usually
that.
rockets fly better if they're in whole.
Look at the people, like next to
oh
the
my God.
SPMTs.
You can see also the engines so beautifully. This is amazing.
And one thing
There's
that you
a-
can.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say that one different thing that you can spot here, compared to Booster 7, is that most of these engines, if not all of them, they are triple digits of numbers. They are well above 100. So these are more experienced Raptors. So more talking about that, they have been built with all of the experience of previous Raptors.
We will go back, by the way, to like questions
Ooh.
and superset and everything. But right now, with the roll by, we want to talk about that.
Yeah.
You can see the pressure line. You can see the pressure line that right now makes sure that the booster stays pressurized. And look at these engines.
Yeah, we can play out
Wow.
which one is the lowest number, because right now I see
112. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the
Like
lowest.
113.
113. Yeah, but look at that. Look at those shields.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They have a lot of sensors, though. Look
Who
at that.
parked-
All
who
of that.
parked that crane there?
Not sponsored.
Yeah, and NSF not sponsored by United Rentals. I
Exactly.
see. Yeah, I think 112 right now is the lowest I see, and you can also see
Yeah.
these counterweights. Just to like don't
Oh,
go
look at
down
that.
back there. Oh my God.
Oh,
Look
now
at
you'll
these
see the
times.
FTS, the flight termination system. They have added
yeah.
more charges. If
it's just
it goes a little bit higher, there we go.
Oh, there.
There you
Yeah,
can
it's just
see.
more charges.
Which is one of the things that have changed for this next flight. Because the
Look
first
at
flight,
that.
they activated that system and the charges did not blow up the rocket. So
And
they have
just to
added
point
more
out again,
explosives.
Just to point that out again, because that's the thing that often confuses people. That's the point where the booster is lifted. You can see it between the grid fence. the booster is not lifted on the grid fence. It's lifted on these
Yep.
small extension points that are next to the grid fence. So just to point that out, and I love this flyby.
Back to the engines. There we go.
One.
Wow, look at that. 158.
Wow, that's the highest number we've seen so far, right?
Yeah.
Look at
And look
that.
at all
Look
those
at that
sensors
shielding.
taped. The shielding, all of the wires
Piping.
and everything, the piping.
That's
It's
amazing.
You can see
some
all
of
the
these-
chains.
Yeah, some of these
chain it
engines
down.
also have some. They have seen some things. It seems like.
But look at that! Look, the black shield on the bottom looks like Falcon
Yeah.
9. It reminds me of that because it's sort of like the Octaweb.
Oh, you can also see how the center engines are lower, so they have
Oh,
more gimbal
yeah.
space. So just to explain that, the gimbal engines are lower because that gives them more gimbal space compared to the other engines, and they can move more.
172. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, is
And
that
that's
73?
73.
Wow, that's the lowest then. And 75, I see there.
75, yeah. So I think the lowest is 73 and highest is 172.
And they are
That's
both together.
That's 99 Raptor engines between these two. That's
Wow.
that's 3 boosters.
And look at all the vents, because you can see right where the engines are located, a little higher on the fuselage of the booster. You can see a lot of vents around that. Booster 7 did not have all of those vents, so those might be new. We can probably talk about that much later, though. But it's really exciting that there's so many little differences. I guess we could make a video about that, right?
That's always dangerous to say if Kevin is in a call, because it will result in a video.
It's already in the works, but shh. Anyways, you can see a lot of spoilers. Look at that, the circle of life.
It looks so nice if you don't feel the humidity and the mosquitoes. It's like, oh, what a nice place.
Is that sound the sound of the SPMTs rolling?
I think so, yes. I think we hear like this is, yeah, that's the SPMTs. I have heard that before.
There we go.
Such a beautiful sound. And there you can see it going to the launch pad. And just to point out, that on the crane, that's the next ship to fly. So
Yeah, they are
here you
both
go.
there.
NSF community, this is your second flight hardware in one picture.
Starship
Minus one ring. Minus one ring.
Okay,
There's-
minus one ring.
Yeah. I'm right now waiting for Simba to like being raised on a rock, but I think
It's
that's
kind of
not
like the
happening.
movie, right? Because Booster 7 was defeated, and now Booster 9 is it's rolling out to its throne, I guess.
So is Booster 7 like Mufasa and like Booster 9 is Simba? Like I
guess
don't want.
that's the SPMTs, right? Or the chopsticks. The chopsticks are gonna lift the whole thing.
Oh, that's like how is it called? Like Rafiki. It's like he rises like Simba. Okay, we stopped the Disney talk. I'm sorry.
That's super loud.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that. There we go.
Yeah, again, that's the pressure line. That's like feeding the booster. And you can see all of these counterweights that make sure that the center of mass of this whole stack is very low right now. Imagine like balancing a long tube. If you fill it at the bottom with a lot of weight, that means it has a hard time to tip over. It basically makes sure the whole stack is stable. Because transporting these 70 meters high buildings kinda is apparently not easy. Even though they make it look easy. Hi, Jack.
How was
How
that?
are you doing?
That
was amazing.
Did you see the serial numbers on some of these Raptors? That's
It's bonkers.
Busy just trying to track it.
Well,
yeah. So Jack, you're still a bit of robotic, but just to point out again, we saw Raptor 172 on Booster 9 here, which is that's a high number. That's a lot of engines. So Alex, right now it's basically, it will go down Highway 4, and then suddenly there will be a right turn, and it will arrive at the launch pad, right? But are we expecting a lift soon? Like, what do you think? What's your expectation on lifts?
Well, it could be lifted maybe as soon as later today. There are another 2 closures, but they are all for transportation. But you know, maybe SpaceX is like, well, moving it with the chopsticks is also transportation, right? But
Yeah.
it could be as early as just today, like later today. So far, we haven't really seen any indication. We normally, this is funny, we might actually have, because sometimes in the past when they have done these rollouts and they were, you know, gonna be lifting right away, they already lifted the chopsticks up and moved the QDR and everything to be ready for the lift. So if we don't see that right away, right now, maybe it's not as soon as it arrives, but it can be any time of this week.
There we go. Let me hit some more of the support we got here, because some of these are getting old and I'm getting screamed at by the backend that they're older. We have a store message actually here from Anonymous saying Leano, I'm not sure, County, Texas, watching via Starlink. So you're using something that this company that you're watching right now provides, and you got a Starship orbital flight test patch. So that's a power patch for the first flight. We still have some of these, so if you want to get them, make sure to check out shop.nasaspaceflight.com. That's our own. That's not any like SpaceX patch or NASA patch. That's our own design patch we did to celebrate the first launch. So if you enjoy that, make sure to check that out. Also, we got Christian here saying, "Oh, so these order announcements are actually real time. Good luck, Booster 9." Yes, they are, and you got from the store. Let's check that out, because why not? Oh, that's the 9 Merlin Tango metal print. I love that. Like, engine shots are always so
I love
fancy.
it.
Yeah.
It's
And
also Falcon 9. I love Falcon 9.
Yes, your love for Falcon 9 is it's only off by your knowledge about Falcon 9. Also got a Starship print here, the Violet Thrust Triumph. So thank you for that support. That's a lot of money that
hopefully
went to
soon
the
we can have a one for these 2 vehicles of Booster 9 and Ship 25.
Yeah, we are preparing, of course, as soon as we get like shots that are metal prints, and like there's always this, yes, you want to have a lot of documentation shots, but there's also these art moments that just look fancy, and you're like, yeah, that's a metal print. So we will have Booster 9, we'll have Ship 25 in the store for you soon. Pedro Martinez here, becoming a Red Team member. Thank you so much, Pedro. Also, Taras Shevanenko with the $5 super chat. With the cooling plate installed, will the static fires on the OLM become longer? That's an interesting question. Alex, do you think the static fires will become longer with the plate?
You know, I wouldn't know how to answer that, because it could be either way, right? One could make the argument that it could be longer, but also be like, well, why would you do it longer, right? Because just doing it longer doesn't mean anything, because then the moment of flight, it might actually just fail, right after flight. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. It's one of those days where you're pretty much like, yeah, it could be either way, right? So let's just see what happens, and definitely the sooner the better.
And also we have Ted Beer here with a launch director membership. That's one of the highest tiers. That's the tier that also gets you thanks after every NSF Live and everything. That's very, very generous of you. Thank you so much. And also WI Bash, I think. Thank you for the great live stream as always. Go B9. Thank you so much for all of the support. We don't want to sound like a broken record, but it really keeps us going, because in the end, apparently people, like, for example, robots need energy and internet or something like that. So it helps to pay the bills. Infinite Smasher here asking, how come boosters don't have a skirt around their engine? Like, why is that, Alex? Why don't they have a skirt?
Well, the shields almost act like one, right? It kind of looks like a sort of a skirt around the engines. It kind of works like it. I guess.
Yeah, but like I think also part of this answer is the ship has a skirt in this case because it's also part of the outer frame. It's like it
Yeah.
is part of the outer structure. It's basically where the ship sits on the booster.
And it makes sense because the ship is gonna be coming from orbit, and it's coming from the side, so you need something to just cover everything, right? Cover the engine section. For the booster, since it's coming first, it's coming engines first. It is not doing, the whole belly flop thing that the ship does. So you only pretty much need like a heat shield on the bottom, and then the engines are also built up to sustain the entry. And also its entry, it's about 4 times slower. And I think the heating goes something like the cube of the speed. So if it's 4 times, then let me do the math for that. It is 64 times less heating on the booster than the ship. So the engines can probably take the blunt of that entry. In fact, super heavy, unlike Booster 9, not Booster 9, Falcon 9, does not need any entry burn. And I'm sure I'm gonna get this wrong a lot of times going forward because we have Booster 9 and Falcon 9. So I'll probably get confused a lot of times. But yeah. Look at that.
If there's one person that I'm pretty sure that doesn't get confused, it's you, Alex. So there was Booster 7. Now we have Booster 9. We got another question here: is what actually happened to Booster 8? So
it met the same fate as Ship 27.
Oh, so cut in half?
Well, cut in half, and then every single piece was also cut, basically scrapped. Now, it is true though that its aft section stayed alive for a little bit longer. In fact, Jack kind of got a little bit trolled there because he saw the section being lifted and he was like, "Oh, a new booster," and then I was like, "No, that's Booster 8, the remains of Booster 8." But yeah, poor booster. The same way that we didn't see any Booster 6 between 5 and 7. Look at that.
I want to point out. Oh wow, that's a beautiful shot.
Fast.
Yes, it's really hauling for the fact that it's 70 meters tall. I want to point out also for if people are asking like, hey, why is SpaceX skipping boosters and ships? At some point in the production process, parts get assigned to specific vehicles. You basically design a vehicle, you build all the parts, then you assemble them. Some of these are just for learning. Some of these are to test out something new. Some of these are having maybe an issue in the production and are like, yeah, this doesn't work anymore, and they have to scrap it. So don't think about these as like a line of things where you number them once they are done. They're basically getting numbered as soon as they're started. And yeah, at that point, you just lose at some point with some numbers. That's just normal.
One of the things that is very clear here, if you compare this booster to there's another change that they have done. We talk about many changes. There's another change, and it is you see all of those like little triangle thingies on the side, like on the bottom half of the booster. Those are called chines, and these chines are dynamic chines, where like there were 2 small ones and then 2 like more thicker chines on Booster 7. Booster 9 began like that, but now the sort of like the smaller ones, the thinner ones, they removed them and then they put some sort of cylinders where they were located, and then they were closed off. So now all of the chines are pretty much the same size, the same thickness, and so you see all of them, they are pretty much the same. Not sure what those cylinders are for, but we could probably, speculate about that.
And with the view of this beautiful shot, I want to introduce a new person on the stream, and it's no other person than NASA Spaceflight Actual, Chris Bergen. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. What a surprise! Well, it's not really a surprise. We knew it was coming, but this is interesting because there's no hot staging ring on it. So, is Elon going to cancel his hot staging ring for Booster 9? If so, why have they moved the ship quick disconnect higher up on tower? So I don't know what's going on here right now. I think they're going to bring it out, do a static fire test the orbital launch mount modifications, then probably roll it back. Or if they found a way of installing it at launch site, fair enough. But this is interesting because I do think that the foot has been put to the pedal here. They do want to get a launch sometime in August, if not September. And I think this is another sign of it.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely puts it on track for, I think, like August, September. Like, this is it's not that far away. Like, if you really think about it, we are just a few static fire tests and maybe some full stack tests away, and then the stack is ready.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, Adrian. I'll leak some information because I'm a good leaker. Is that right now, the NASA HLS people think there's a launch in August. Right now. So this is, to me, that is typical of what we've heard with Booster 7 and Ship 24, that they were looking at a very advanced launch date and it never turned out to be that way. So that makes me think that September is extremely likely now, providing all the testing goes well. August is pushing it still, but that's where we're standing right now. This is getting closer.
Yeah, I mean, we are at July 20, right? We are at the end of July, and they're right now targeting August. That's something. That's not that much away. So that's an interesting question because we have more road closures today. And Brandon is asking, chances this gets lifted onto the OLM today?
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think?
I think he will.
Alex, what do you
think? The interesting thing, by the way, just before Alex gives his opinion as well, is that the orbital launch mount is still a little bit kind of busy. It's not like they could put it on and static fire it later today. They wouldn't anyway, but they've got some work to do yet. So I think maybe put the booster on, check the fits with the modifications and repairs they've done to it since the last test flight, and then take down what else they need to do and clear the area, and then be ready for a static fire test. I think we're looking at next week at the earliest. But yeah, there's potential. I've seen intimation in almost like schedules where they talk about trying to reduce static fire test once they've rolled out to a matter of just days. So that's what they may go for. But it's just the thing that's been played here now is the water deluge system. I wonder how much more involved testing's going to happen with the booster on the actual launch mount. So that's going to be a fascinating static fire test campaign in its own right, because it's been the first time we'll see the water spraying as they fire up the engines.
I mean, just look at...
said... Oh.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that you just said the same thing that I actually talked about before, because we had a similar question, but obviously people come and go, obviously, so it's fair. But one thing that I will mention, though, because I'm seeing comments as well that, oh, there's a scaffolding on the OLM. It is on the deck of the OLM. As far as we know, the inside where all of the connections and everything are located, that has been pretty much emptied out over the last few days. We've seen they have like a little crane that drops a bucket inside, and then all of the scaffolding is put inside. Well, little bucket. It's little compared to the crane, but it's a big bucket. And then they put all of the equipment for the scaffolding and everything, and then they take it out. And so they've been doing that for pretty much a whole week already, and part of last week as well. They've taken down a lot of the scaffolding on the outside as well. They can still put the booster inside just because they have scaffolding on the deck of the OLM, but not inside. As long as the inside is clear, they can put the booster inside. They cannot, like, the booster is not on the deck itself, it's like on the inside of the ring. So yeah.
Yeah, and also, I kind of lost my point. Let's oh, I got it again because I have a tab open. If you look at the Ship 24 campaign, we just saw one spin prime on June 21st and one static fire on June 26th. That's it. That's Ship 25 in terms of engine testing campaign. So it's not really that unreasonable to expect like a 1 or 2 week booster campaign, and then they're done. And then it's a matter of putting Ship 25, like first probably installing it's at least some sort of ring, and then installing Ship 25, and then we have a full stack. And from a full stack to launch, I mean, it's not that far away. So yeah, we'll see. But right now I'm quite optimistic.
I've
So
also want to
maybe
bring up.
that will bite me at some point.
I also want to bring up something and Chris will probably have a lot of memories about that. This installation, if it happens, of the installation of the hot ring the hot staging ring on Booster 9, if it happens on the launch pad, that wouldn't be the first time they add hardware on a vehicle at the launch site. Because if you remember, way back when with SN8, they added the whole nose cone at the pad. And there's a long stream. It was like 5 hours. I actually rewatched it today because I was a little bit nostalgic, and it was a whole operation of many cranes, many lifts around the whole thing, and trying to weld it manually. It was way larger than just a single ring. A single ring is just 6 feet. The nose cone, I think it's something like 15. Like it's like 4 or 5 rings tall in terms of the size. It's like several times larger than just a single ring. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they actually do it there at the launch site. But anyways, they don't really have any way to do it robotically, for example at the Mega Bay or something like that. So they will have to do it anyways manually.
There we go. I'm excited for that. I want to see hot staging. I like hot staging as a concept. That's a one I will throw to Chris first. How do you think they will test the steel plate underneath the OLM? Will they fire a couple of engines and work up to full 33? Or just go for it and fire all 33 in the first test?
I know what I'd do. That's it. Just fire them all up. Let's do a proper stress test. There's 2 things in play. The common sense approach would be to fire up a few Raptors and then just test it that way and just ramp it up from there. But the other part of me is thinking, well, they don't want to do too many static fire test campaigns because that's stressing the booster as it is, and then they could have additional problems with maybe booster having to replace engines and it gets low, the timeline gets stretched. So maybe I think 2 static fire test campaigns. One, partial engines and just test the orbital the water deluge system at the same time, and then go into a normal full 33 engines test campaign. Remember that Booster 7's 33 engine test campaign was with 50% thrust, so they have that caveat as well, not to go full belt with the system in a static fire test campaign and then go full belt when it's actually the launch day itself. And remember, they have changed the countdown procedure at ignition. That previously with Booster 7 and Ship 24, they were like 6 seconds ramping up to full thrust before the actual vehicle lifted off. And Elon said that was something that was a major contributor to the concrete tornado, the rock tornado as he called it, as it cracked the concrete and then sent it flying. This time round they're going to do for 3 seconds. He said expect 3 seconds of it from ignition to liftoff. So that's going to help as well. So there's a lot of things that are going to really mitigate what happened last time, not least the big steel plate rather than just a plate of concrete beneath the engines.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to these tests because this is one of the first times that a static fire campaign, the main focus is not really on the engines, because I feel quite confident the Raptors will perform just fine, but it will be a lot of look on like the water and damage on the pad and everything. So it's going to be quite interesting to analyze all of these damages or non-damages after the static fire campaign. So that's going to be exciting. I want to thank Jack Waltz at this point for 10 Red Team memberships. I want to point out at this point, so many gifted memberships again. It's really a crazy amount of support, and it's also a very generous way of supporting, because you're not only helping us, because the membership program helps us, of course, but you're also helping all of the people that are want to see these behind-the-scenes content and want to see our extra bonus things that we publish for our members. So thank you so much. It's really a generous way to support us. Matthew Mitchell here with 999 curly L's super chat. Is it possible hot staging ring is not welded but just stacked using existing ship connections? Alex, do you want to tackle that one?
It could be. Just like the whole question of whether they're gonna do more testing or just one test or whatever with the engines, you can see the same here, right? They might use the same interfaces or just remove the interfaces, because actually that's a ring that they can remove on the top, and they can remove it and then weld it right on top of the ring, and then have that interface have it on top, because either way the ship needs to be connected through those pins. And so this hot staging ring, one way or another, at the top needs to have the same pins that the current booster has at the top to connect to the ship. So I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see. We haven't actually seen the whole thing, the hot staging ring, so I don't even know what it's gonna be looking like when it actually rolls out.
If only Elon Musk would do his promised Starship Spaces update, because he did promise it about just days after the Ashley Vance one, and I think that Ashley Vance one went to a state where it was his fault. It wasn't Elon's fault. I think he got a little bit worried that his space was going to turn into some financial deep dive into his finances, and he doesn't like doing that. A little safety tip: if you ever get on a space with Elon and he turns your microphone on, don't start asking him questions about how much money he's spent on Starship and things like that. And are you going to be fighting Zuckerberg? Just keep it on subject. That's the trick, boys and girls, because when he is on subject, as the previous two spaces on Starship were, they were both great. In fact, I would say they're better than any presentation he's done at Starbase in person. He really does give a lot of information away. He's very open about the program when he's been asked the right questions. So hopefully he will do another one soon, because now he's got an excuse. Booster 9's rolled out. You think that's kind of a milestone, that he'd be then saying, well, I'll be doing a Spaces for my Twitter subscribers in 3 days. That's what we want to hear from him next. That's the next tweet you want to see from him.
Yes, I hope we get an update. There were some very informative spaces after the first launch, and I really liked them, because of course we as reporters, journalists that talk about this, it really helps us out to get these peeks behind the curtain. We talk a lot about Texas tank watching, but sometimes about some of these questions it's nice to not have to tank watch, but get the facts, right? So let's hope we get that. I pulled up another question here attached to a $10 super chat from Captain Tiki. I'm not sure how to tackle it, and I will just throw it to Alex. What happened to the overly large metal CUPV thing? Did they install that on the new booster? Do we know what that is yet? Do you have an idea how to tackle this, Alex?
Yeah, that's actually what I talked about before, of the cylinders that they installed on where the former smaller chines were located. Now they are all the same size of chines. I'm not really sure what it is. It's certainly not a CUPV. It seems to be just completely metal, so it's technically not a CUPV, because it will be a composite overwrapped pressure vessel, and it is not. It doesn't look to be overwrapped in composites. So, but I have two theories on that, and this is probably the first time that I actually go out and talk about this. But one of my theories, it might contain some kind of purge gas for the engine section, and my thinking for that is that Elon hinted at this being a possibility in one of those Twitter spaces that you guys were talking about before. As in, he mentioned that they would probably do that in order to avoid any engine fires around not only have enhanced shields on this booster, but perhaps a way to purge the inside to avoid any fires. So that's one of the theories. The other theory is it could be just another holding tank to hold more, I don't know, maybe propellants, or maybe more pressure, pressure gas or anything like that for the landing or something like it, like a header tank of sorts. We don't really know, but those are my two main theories.
Are we going to just see Booster 9 pass its partner, Ship 25, any second?
Yes, we will see the second Starship flight full hardware on a single frame right now, which is it's amazing. It's crazy. We are I don't want to spoil what exactly we have planned, but I can tell you, for example, at this point, we in the store team, we are actively talking about the second launch, because we have of course some cool surprises talk, but it just approach, right? Chris, it suddenly is there, and we are talking about like this flight happening very, very soon. And it's it came out of nowhere. I know after the initial flight, there was a lot of pessimism. I cannot say that I'm free of that. I was also very pessimistic, but right now, August, September, it's likely, I would say.
Yeah.
Which feels crazy.
I'm gonna get bold. I have a bed.
Yeah,
I know I mentioned it, but I have a bed. Well, I had a bed back then when the first flight happened, and I saw all of the chaos that happened. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, there's no way they launch before the end of summer. The end of summer is September 23rd.
Oh yeah, you're
So,
gonna get bold.
yeah.
I think we will see bold Alex.
Hey,
Yeah, because
there's the one thing we can do about questions like this: do a poll.
Let's go. Because the hive mind is always smarter than we are.
Yeah.
I even have a countdown on my phone for when that happens.
Let's ask the collective.
Let's do it. Will Alex go bold? Yes, no. Can the
Oh.
booster? We'll make a T-shirt for that.
People are
Jackie-
saying, pull.
I'll make you a promise, guys. If it launched in August, I will go bold.
That's a lame
No.
promise, sir.
No. Full
I-
clips
you-
of the stack.
There we go.
I want to point out, no matter what you tell me, I will not go bold. That's like I will not put my hair on the line for Starship. It's not gonna happen. Yeah,
It's a star
Andrew.
transit.
Andrew, I'm actually saying it here, and I think I will just. It's not a question. I'll pull it up because it's so true. It's weird potentially being well under 50 days from launch and almost certainly 100 days. It is weird. And there we go. That's Booster 7 and Ship 25. That's your next flight hardware. Just sitting there. One of it already being fully tested.
First and second stages. It's amazing because it's like we're probably weeks or even just a few months at worst case probably from
Yeah.
these two flying.
It feels good because I like action here, and that's the reason we are also like commentating this right now because people are excited about this. Like we are excited about this.
I
Kevin
think
was
Booster 9.
Kevin was insanely excited to be up this early, and so was Jack. They were just
Yes,
happy.
They were both very excited.
Yeah.
You know, I think Booster 9 is also excited because it's been less than 1 hour since it started moving, and it's already at the launch site. We've been live for about 58 minutes.
Can I use this situation right now while it's past Hopper to do a quick market research as the person that helps to run the shop here? So we did booster plushies and chip plushies this time. Would chat be interested in a Hopper plushie just as a feeling if you like that? I'm just curious.
You know you're gonna get lots of yeses.
Yes. I just want to
I
see
got-
if people are excited.
We got one no.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
Well,
just-
everybody else is yes.
Okay. We'll have that considered, and as long as that's not happening, we will still have some of these ship and booster plushies that are still in our store, and you can order. And I can confirm as an update because people like when we update about this. They have entered, like they're basically ready to being shipped out over the weekend or as late as Monday. They're being processed. We are ready that they're already close to our distribution centers, and from there they will ship out to you all. So
I'll tell
They
you
are
what I'll do,
very-
Adrian. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Good.
What I'll do is I'll pin the tweet we did because it's got a couple of photographs in there as well of the update, just so people can see if they come in like about 5 minutes later, they'll miss that conversation. So I'll pin the tweet, which is the plushie update, and then people will get excited and they'll see pictures of it.
I saw
There we go.
someone suggesting we need a plushie of the hot staging ring to add it.
yeah, we will sell the plushie hot staging add-on coming
it's a
soon
DLC.
to you. Yeah, and also we will the best suggestion I've so far seen was a suggestion for the steel plate as a plushie,
there you
which
go.
would just
Look
be
at
like
Kevin's already got the presenting showing us. There we go.
Yeah,
Look
it has
at that.
Velcro so you can stack them together.
Yeah, which is like you can have a full stack Starship in your bedroom, which is fun. I like that idea, and I'm looking forward to mine. Like I'm very excited to have it. So if you want that, go to shop.nasaspaceflight.com. We not only have that, we have also our the remainder of the first flight patches, which are still in our store, and we have metal prints. Here you go, our amazing metal prints,
And more to come.
And more to come. So thank you so much for supporting us using our shop. It really helps us out, and yeah. Back to the start of the show. Let's go back to Booster 9. Enough of the store. There we go. It's almost at the OLM.
I wonder if we're gonna see today, though, that QD arm retracting, the chopsticks going up, because that's when we know that things are gonna be lifted on the OLM.
Yeah, some people keep thinking that maybe Elon's cancel hot staging. Again, that view we just had then showed how higher the ship quit disconnect has been raised on. It's like a booster seat almost on the tower. There we go. We've got the view now. That says they're going with hot staging because that is literally catering for the additional height that the ring will provide. The hot staging ring will provide as a little booster seat of its own to the ship when it's put on top. So that's one thing I think we can definitely say what's seen in the next few days is a full stack because that'd be weird. And it'd be all wrong. So I tell you one thing: if we see the hot staging ring rolling down Highway 4, that'd be fun, because that means they're going to do it at the launch site, which is a surprise.
You know,
that would be fun.
That's what I had in mind, because when we saw the 3 road closures, I was like, okay, maybe one is Booster 9, then there's another one that is 4 hours, so I think that's probably for Massey, because it takes a little bit longer to get there. But then there's another one that is also like 2 hours, or like the same kind of rollout closure as Booster 9. I was like, what else is there to roll out? And I'm like, it will be a good plot twist from SpaceX to just roll the ring.
Yeah.
The hot staging ring today as well. And everything together.
I want to point out and make quick confirmation of that. We will not do a full stack body pillow. I saw that recommended.
Oh, God.
I saw your message. There will not be a full stack body pillow. No. That's all I say about this. Let's hit some questions here. Can the booster even fit in the Mega Bay with the hot stage extension? Alex, can it fit?
Yep. The Mega Bay, the door of the Mega Bay, I think it is about 80 meters, and the booster right now is 69. And the ring is 6 feet. It's just one ring, so it should be 1.6 meters extra. So 70.6, I guess. So almost 71. It has still like 9 meters, and it is true that the stand adds a couple of more meters, I think. But again, you probably have a good clearance there of a couple more rings, so they could probably stretch a couple of rings and still fit through the door.
Another question here we have is, OLM has still scaffolding on top. Can they put a booster there prior to removing that? And I mean, we had scaffolding on this OLM like until 5 days before launch, when they initially launched. So yes,
they had no
do.
problems with Booster 7 and all the scaffolding that they had. It looked like it looked like these docks where they build the giant boats and giant ships and things like that. They have all of this scaffolding around. It kind of looked like that when they were doing all of these things with the OLM prior to the first flight, and even before and even after, when they came back and upgraded systems and everything, it looked like that again. And now it's much more cleaner. So hopefully they can put it there on the OLM.
I'll tell you what I like, Adrian, is people coming into chat are probably just woken up and like they've not basically last night, because as of last night we knew there was road closures, but there's only speculation that Booster 9 was going to roll, and people are coming, oh my god. They're seeing Booster at the launch site. They're like, what's happening?
If you have not paid attention the last 2 weeks to Starbase, you are very out of touch at this point. It's so funny, because 2 weeks ago everybody would be like, yeah, they're slowly approaching launch, and now we are in reality where they have like booster at the pad. We are talking about the OLM almost being done, C plate installed. we are in a different world now compared to where we were 2 weeks ago. So make sure to catch Starbase update every week, because otherwise you are out of touch very soon. That was a quick and cheeky plug. That's another question here that is asked a lot. Like, how finished is the OLM actually? Like, where are they on OLM work, Alex? Do we know?
Well, we have seen them upgrade, not only just upgrading all of these systems, but also testing them. And we've seen, for example, that they probably more refurbish the outer quick disconnects for the outer 20 engines that, they are basically helped start up by the ground systems. We saw all of those, sort of like vapor tornado kind of thing that they fire. They actually tested them this morning as well before the rollout, which was fun. And then also all of the tank farm, the cryogenic pipes and everything. We saw the OLM venting, the tower venting, pretty much everything venting. And also at the same time, the most important test, I guess, was the testing of that water cool plate system that they have for that next flight of a Starship, which hopefully should avoid any rock tornadoes, as Elon mentioned. It's really important to keep that launch pad not blowing itself up when Raptors are firing on it.
I will also add that the additional work, we've seen a lot of scaffolding come down, but also the booster quick disconnect HUD has now finally lost its rusty appearance from the previous launch. Has had its primer painted on and now is being painted black. So we're back on that as well. That's a minor thing in the big scale of picture, but it is almost, when we saw them painting, we thought, okay, there's something else going to do ahead of the static fire test campaign. People are asking if they're going to paint legs. I think there's no point until after the static fires, because they'll have to repaint it again afterwards.
For that, I will say they have actually painted the bottom of the tower. So maybe if we can zoom in here a little bit, but you can see the black on the covers of the bottom of the tower. That was not there yesterday. They've painted that overnight, and they've also painted a little bit the sort of concrete wall there as well at the base of the tower. So that black that you see on the left hand view to the right of that view, you can see that black that is on the tower. Those are covers that cover the pipes that go from the tank farm and up to the tower. They have like this cover, and it is painted black. It is being painted black, and then also that concrete wall as well at the at the background there on the tower, it is also being painted as well, or maybe given another layer of concrete maybe to give extra protection. But you can see there that they are doing some work in that direction of a little more cosmetic work, but still it's a little bit more step towards flight, right?
Did we mention the draw works?
Oh, that too, with the cheese.
Yeah.
With the cheese talk.
They had the draw works have got like a big device at the bottom for the chopsticks on the left hand side of the orbital launch mount from where we're looking right now. The covers all got absolutely bullet holed by the rock tornado of Boost 7's launch. They've now taken those panels off and put new panels on. It's just behind the bottom part of the boom of the crane. If you're looking from this direction there, that has now got brand new covers on it. So it's no little thing. Again, minor in the big scale of picture. It's just something else where they're getting ready for this next flight. And I can see the camera zooming in just to the point I'm talking about there. So you see the biggie on the crane. That behind it is the draw works. That's where they've replaced the panels, and it's now looking nice, brand spanking new. I think one thing we do need to do is put some WD-40 on the chopsticks. We heard them moving the other day, and they were squeaking. They were squeaking like mad. So yeah, hope somebody's got some grease out on that one.
There we go. Yeah, it's they're at this point a few like years old at this point. So these chopsticks are not new anymore. It's weird to say, but they need some care. Also, I have a Falcon 9 question here, and Falcon Heavy question here, Alex. So I will give you the 2 minutes of Falcon Heavy talk here. Not a question about Starship, but is the Falcon Heavy still scheduled for this month, or has it been changed?
Well, it's had a bit of a bumpy road, but it's still scheduled for this month. It is 1 week from now, I think. Well, it is 1 week from now for me, because it's 27th for me, but it is 26th, somewhere after 10 p.m. local on Eastern time.
Yeah, it's these lovely moments where Alex and I have to wake up early.
I'm totally not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm not a
heavy.
morning person. Let's thank some more people here. We have Blushy Boy with a Run Red Team membership gifted. Thank you so much. We also have Virginia with becoming a Red Team member. Thank you for that as well. Enjoy the perks. Marvin saying we need a Jack in the field report with a $5 super chat. I'm not sure if Jack is on Hi, there we go.
Ooh, look at that.
Jack, what's going
Can you
on?
hear me?
What's in the field report? Yes.
It's a beautiful morning. The light out this morning was delightful. Can you still hear me? Am I a robot?
Delightful.
I thought the weather outside is frightful, but the light is so whatever.
But yeah, it's a good day today. I'm happy to see Booster 9 heading to the launch site for some testing. Sorry to see Ship 27 go, but that's the way it goes. Bye, Ship 27. Hello, Booster 9.
Goodbye,
That
Ship.
probably means that Ship 26 is also gonna get scrapped at some point.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't increase the chances of Ship 26 surviving. Ship 26 just there, like sitting there, like, why are they cutting Ship 27 in half?
Did 27 ever get engines, or was it just 26 that got engines?
26.
Interesting.
not
I wonder if
get,
they'll
yeah.
pull those off before they scrap it. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that's true.
I like it, by the way, because I have a $5 American bet on the next flight after this being Booster 10 and Ship 28.
Nice.
So
I
it's
think
definitely
that's
not 26.
That's a solid bet, Chris. That's a really
I think
solid
so,
bet. Also,
yes.
good morning. It's always nice to hear your voice, buddy.
And good morning to you, Jack. Thank you for the wonderful views.
Yeah, indeed. Like looking at these engines close up was amazing. Music Duck here with €6. Nice currency there, by the way. When do we get a Mechazilla plushie? Not soon.
I think everybody just started. Someone asked for a horse cam plushie the other day. I thought, well, we could just buy a toy horse from a store and put a camera, sellotape a camera on top.
Yeah, just to point that out, Chad, we cannot put everything that is in Starbase as a plushie. You cannot build your own Starbase just with plushies. It will break Store Team. We cannot do that. I'm sorry.
By the way, I've got a poll update for
That's what you think!
Just we've got the collective opinion on when the next launch will be. From 2,500 votes already, we've had when is the second launch? 40% for August, 47% for September, and 13% later. Now the take home from that is optimism is rising within the community. So again, everybody wants to see the launch sooner or later, so you can understand why a most optimistic opinion would get the most votes, but it seems pretty solid. It's a pretty solid opinion that it's 40% August, 47% September. But that is, I think we'll all take either, wouldn't we? Let's face it. I think September would give us some time to plan a bit more, but it's getting closer. A lot of people were saying after that rock tornado, there's no way they're going to launch again this year. So we're way ahead of those expectations now.
You know, I have a question for you all, and maybe you have different opinions here. If they were to fly August or September, do you think they could fit a third launch this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Jack?
Hey, remember. Oh, but yeah, ask around the room and I'll come back to it. Yeah, go on.
Jack, can you, or maybe not.
I'm not sure if Jack's on comms anymore.
Okay, well.
I'm here. I'm doing things at the same time, and my phone is in my pocket. So every time you talk to me, you need to stall a little bit, so I have time to take my phone out of my pocket. And
That's what I tried.
Inside baseball, I say yes, absolutely. It really depends on how this second one goes, but if it goes as well as we hope, given all the new upgrades and modifications, then hopefully they're able to fire off a third one in like a month, and then a fourth one in like a month, and then a fifth one in like a month. That would be really great.
I mean, based on how SpaceX operates, they tend to increase their how fast they are. They're getting faster and faster. That's just how they operate. If we look at September, they took about 4 to 5 months from flight to flying again. I think it's not unreasonable, October, November, December, to expect like a 3-ish, 4-ish month turnaround. So it might be calling it a bit close, but I think it's not out of the question. It's.
I mean, we're all waiting for a ramp, right? Like, they're not building these to launch them every now and then, once every 3 years. They're building them. I think Elon has said that they want one a month out of the factory at its current state, and they're expanding the factory. So, we're all waiting for the ramp of many, many, many Starship launches to start happening. First it's slow, then it'll speed up. But when that ramp happens, that's a really good question. But anyway, I'll stop babbling.
Speaking of that, we're less than 1 hour from the 3-month milestone from basically that first flight. So we're 3 months from that first flight.
Oh yeah, true. 3 months ago, at this time, we were very calm and collected and not excited at all.
Yeah.
Everybody was just calm, nobody nervous anymore. Totally chill.
Rocket was chill.
By the way, I'm trying to find a quote from Elon about the future flights, because although you can have the optimism from him, he did say on one of the spaces that he was looking to get orbital this year, and it might be 2 or 3 more flights this year. Now, I don't think there'll be 2 or 3 more flights this year, but I think that is also something to consider, that Elon is very motivated, and he's also got some slight pressure from NASA, because HLS, the billions of dollars worth of contract, do have timelines on them, and they do need requirements doing this. This isn't Elon's pet project that he can do in his own time. It is now contracted to HLS, and also they got a bit of added pressure from the fact that HLS is also expanding out with its contract to a second provider in Blue Origin. And of course, if anyone wants to beat Jeff Bezos, it'd be Elon. So there's very many factors to understand that while Elon has got pressure to push, there's also contractual reasons why they'll want to keep pushing, get to orbital, and then get next year into refilling tests, because refilling will be key to the HLS program goals.
We have some breaking news here, Christo. If you would pay attention, if you would direct your eyes at the booster QD, and also apparently also the ship QD. Like, apparently also the booster QD is open. You can see the QD plate.
Yep.
So that's signaling that they want to put the booster here soon. And
nice.
There's a caveat here though. Can I mention one little thing? So actually, when they lift the booster on the pad, the booster QD is actually closed. But if you look closely to that quick disconnect, it is the main lines are closed off. The umbilicals are closed off. So what we could expect here is they go up to the OLM, they remove the caps, then the whole thing closes again, and then they lift the booster on top, and then it basically deploys and connects to the booster. Normally, when they lift the booster, this is closed. But again, I want you to look at that quick disconnect plate. The umbilicals, they are closed off. So they need to go up there and remove them. And so for that, they need to open the hood. So it is a good thing that they have opened the hood, and also the ship quick disconnect arm is moving away. So everything is in place.
They are preparing the moving of Booster 9 on top of the OLM here. Just to point out, we don't expect this to happen in like 20 minutes from now. What will happen is they will at some point raise the chopsticks, then position the chopsticks, then move the booster in a position where the chopstick can grab them, then connect the booster to the chopsticks, and then the lift will happen. That will be a multi-hour process that is expected. One of these later load closures could be issued in a weird way and still be a transport closure for some reason, but could be maybe for this lift, for example.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but do they need a road closure for a booster lift, or is it for the full stack lift? I can't remember.
It's a bit iffy because there has been some inconsistency in the past, but usually for boosters they close at least the pad, like the whole pad area.
Yeah.
For ships they tend to not do that anymore.
Yeah, it varies. Sometimes they close everything off, sometimes they don't. It hasn't really been consistent.
Yeah.
Technically, lifting the booster onto the mount is transporting it. So hey, technically correct.
I mean-
the best kind of correct.
Okay, can I one up you here? A launch is also technically a transport.
The chopsticks are already moving.
Wow, cool.
They
Wow,
are already
SpaceX.
moving. Because you can see on some of the other wide shot views, they have like a bottom resting point, and they are lifted above that resting point. So they are already about to move, or even moving already. I think they're already moving.
I love
Yeah,
this
they're all-
shot. I love the shot. The
Wow.
shot shows how far it's travelled in just a short amount of period. Look how far away the production site is from here.
And it is amazing that the next time after the first flight of a Starship that a vehicle is on the pad is exactly 3 months afterwards. It is.
Yeah, this feels almost
Amazing.
timed. This
Yeah.
feels suspiciously timed. This is but yeah, it looks like we have the QD moving, we have the chopsticks moving, we have the booster QD moving, we have the booster at the pad. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to assume we will see a booster on this pad very, very soon. So get ready for that. I like that. It's stopped to move, right? At this point it's basically at its resting point for now, I think. But I'm not sure. It might just wait there for a moment and enter the pad, and then later point move in. Hey, you can see people around it. There's the Raptors again.
Yeah, there's the bucket they take all the scaffolding down with as well. We've seen that being lifted up and down, left, right, and centre all the way through Starbase Live. That bucket there with the SpaceX logo on it. I didn't notice that the SpaceX logo is what we've seen being moved around the crane when they've been dismantling the scaffolding around the orbital launch mount.
Yes. Also, there's 172 again. It's such
Hey,
a
we've got a
high-
Mary tweet. Mary tweet.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
I'll put it into the thing so we can put it on screen, but I will retweet it first.
Yes. And while that, can I thank some people here, because we have some generous support here. We have Ryan here with a $4.99 super chat saying, "Good morning to everyone. Looking forward to some testing. Not only you, we as well." We have Nerd here, who is, if it's our nerd, also a team member, with a 10 Red Team membership gifted. Thank you so much. We have Jeff Stucco with a $2 super chat saying, "So are they taking a booster to OLM to test Deluge on fire?" Well, yes.
Yeah.
Part of this is very much to also test the steel plate. That's a big part of the second launch campaign.
I like this as well, by the way, because not only do we have a lot of interest in static fire test campaigns, obviously, because people like fiery things coming out the bottom of rockets, but it's just added interest this time because we're going to see the water deluge system turn on. Maybe even more powerful because we now know it's a partial test rather than like that was exactly what we could see on launch day. So we're going to see the water flowing like crazy. We're going to see Raptors fire up, and we're going to see how much steam that produces. Because I've got a funny feeling when the camera people who had all their cameras lined up at the launch pad and got hit by concrete, they will probably get obscured by steam. I'm going to thinking during launch itself and the static fire, the best views might be from a distance away because I'm expecting a lot of steam.
Well, that's not that different from the initial first launch because instead of steam, it was dust.
Yeah.
Marvin with a $5 super chat here saying, "Beanbag-sized hobby beanbag chairs." What is a beanbag chair?
It's those things you sit on when you're watching TV. It's like, you know, you just put it on the floor and you just basically you fall into it.
You don't know what a beanbag chair is?
Yeah,
Adrian, we're gonna watch all the movies and we're gonna sit on beanbag chairs the whole time, and our backs are gonna hurt, but it won't matter.
Jack is always there to call me out on things I've missed so far. I love it. Yes, I'm game, Jack. Steven with a store message here, buying for my young granddaughters in California. They will grow up with this as reality. Let's see what they got from the store here. I can quickly display that. And they got a plushie. Nice. Enjoy that. It will ship out soon. Sean with the €6 super chat. I finally see Starship next week. Any tips for visiting apart from the video you guys released 3 months ago? Actually, I think the video covers a lot. I think the main advice I always would say is go to the toilet before you go there, because there's no toilets in Starbase.
Unless you want to use nature as your toilet,
we did a
which
video.
is not good thing.
Yeah, we did that video, didn't we, with you yourself when you were there, as the Turk and German.
Yes,
at Starbase. Yeah, it was surprising because again, I thought it was very useful. I didn't know that once you get just outside of Brownsville, you've got one more gas station or petrol station if you're English, where you can get things like water bottles and food, and after that you're stuck. So you're best stocking up before you start driving towards the Starbase itself.
Look, Chris.
Yes.
They built a new one.
What?
It just opened. There's 2 now.
Oh,
Nice.
luxury.
Getting out of hand.
That's true. Oh god, Star Wars reference. Yeah, I think
I'm gonna link it in chat for those that might want to watch it.
Yeah.
Also, another tip is bring enough water, especially if you're European like me and you're like, oh well, I'm used to hot weather. It cannot be that bad. It's that bad. It's worse actually. So don't underestimate your own ability. Get sunscreen, get water. It's for the better. Really.
What about the bite insect? Because I have never met in my life in person a mosquito ever.
It's the worst.
They don't sound like fun.
So there was this one moment that was after the launch where Jack was shooting in the dunes. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell the story by Jack, but I will just do it because otherwise he cannot stop me. But basically, Michael and I were like sitting there, and Jack was coming out of the dunes, and he was covered in these things. They were like all over his shirt, all over his beard, all over his face. He was just covered in mosquito, like a solid mosquito cloud around him. It was really mind-boggling, and they just stick around you. They just wait until you make a mistake and show some skin.
Normally I can tolerate it, but that day was really bad, and I try not to use bug spray just because I hate the way that it smells, and it's annoying, and it gets in your eyes and it stings, and it's like, okay, fine, but yeah, that day I wish I had put bug spray on. I ate 2 mosquitoes that day. I don't
no.
I've never had that problem before. It's disgusting.
That's extra protein.
It's horrible.
It's the worst.
But normally it's not that bad, and you can put bug spray on and it's not a big deal. So it's really not that big of a deal. But also, it seems to be extremely like location based. Like if you're walking down the highway or you're on the side of the road, it's probably going to be bearable or not that bad. But the second you start walking into the like vegetation, it's like that's where they live, and that you will, on the wrong day, end up in a cloud of mosquitoes.
Yeah, it's basically as soon as you touch the grass with your foot, it's like a cloud rising, as a buzzing sound cloud. That's.
I'm not gonna lie though, that was one of my favorite moments of the post-launch activities. Was walking out of the dunes in misery, looking up and seeing you, and I forgot it was you and Michael, you and Das. By the way, I remember just seeing your jaw literally drop, and I was like, okay, I guess it is a lot of mosquitoes.
It was. I think it was me and Michael, and we were just standing there. We're like, dudes. And it was like this orange bearded man, because Jack was like covered in orange that day, as he tends to be. Yeah, and it was great. It was like one of the hottest days while I was there. It was a great day though, because everybody was like excited after the launch and like looking through what happened. That was a cool day, definitely a cool day. Even though actually it was a hot day, not a cool day.
Yeah. So we can see there the chopsticks are still slowly rising. They opened a little bit as well to let Booster 9 get in between for the hug, also known as the lift.
We're definitely going to have a booster on the orbital launch mount today, aren't we? Let's face it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before the end of the day, most likely.
Yep.
It's certainly crazy how fast they're moving here.
It's true. It's July 20th. What happened on a July 20th?
Apollo 11 landing?
Yep.
Yeah, we all totally knew that out of our head.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Adrian. You didn't know it.
I have no idea about anything in spaceflight before Falcon Heavy demo.
Ah, jeez.
That's bad.
We'll get you to remember some dates. Don't worry. Like history class.
So I can completely assume you've not seen the movie Apollo 11 with Tom Hanks.
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. That's your next one.
I have. I will add it to the endless list of movies that have been called the next one.
Yes.
They just keep on coming. Every time I'm telling somebody I've not watched it, they're like, "That needs to be your next one." I'm like, "Well, what am I going to do?"
Oh, it's Apollo 13, the movie. Oh my God, yeah, you're right, chat. Sorry, I'm complete. I'm Apollo 11's anniversary today, but the movie with Tom Hanks is Apollo 13. Oh my goodness. So, Adrian, you're forgiven. I've actually got the wrong movie there.
Yay, so I'm fine. No movie.
Maybe the one with the 11 to watch is the one with the miserable actor. Which one was that one called? Chat, help me out. First Man. First Man.
There we go. Also added to the list.
Yeah.
There's actually no list, by the way. There is no list. I just as always say that. Barry Wood with a 5 curly L super chat. Are you guys doing a new flight badge for the second flight? A new flight patch, I would say. I would say stay tuned. Is that a good teaser? I'm not sure. Like, we are always working on stuff. Also, TMC Crate 25 Gaming becoming a Red Team member. Thank you so much. And Mercon with $5 saying, speaking of how today's oh yeah, they're talking about the moon landing today. What's your guys' favorite moment from the Apollo program? I will throw these questions to you because I don't have any. Chris.
I think just the way that 11 landed with so little fuel left, the way they brought it down, it was successful. It could have very easily been an abort or gone wrong. I think that when you look back, there's I think it's called Lunar Module, the channel on YouTube, where they've taken all the footage, they've put CGI on it, and they've taken a flight loop as well. It's wonderful to watch that back because it is pure drama. Hollywood also made a lot out of it, but it was actually real drama in the actual landing itself. So I'm thinking Apollo 11's landing really just is something I always refer back to when I want to just watch something from the Apollo program. The Saturn V launches were so impressive as well. I think that was something that got me excited about Starship being more powerful than the Saturn V, because Saturn V's launch videos are just incredible. They really are, especially the night one. There's so many highlights to point out, but if you ask me for one, I think it was just the way that they got Apollo 11 to land with, you know, so many challenges and so little time left. We're gonna a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
Anonymous, sorry, just quickly finishing this. Anonymous also bought a plushie for their grandson and granddaughter, and I wanted to mention that because that's such a cool gift. Thank you so much for that, and I hope they enjoy their plushie. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that probably the whole thing that they had to say right after they landed on the moon, like when they're like, you know, contact light, AC out of detent, and you know, and then Tranquility Base here, the Eagle is landing and everything. That's probably one of the words that it's like, yeah, that's super cool. But also, just to, Jackie's not here, but I was gonna say it's orange. Because that's from Apollo 17, and it's on our intro.
I think I just found Jack's burner account on YouTube because there's a person called Chris P. Bacon that just said that The Fifth Element is the best movie ever.
Well, to be fair, it is a very good movie.
I'm just saying,
You've now seen it, haven't you? You've now seen it. Did you watch all the way through, Adrian?
Yes, I enjoyed it. There's actually a movie review in our membership area in the member level photos. That is me reviewing The Fifth Element, and Jack filming me, and Jack not believing me that I like the movie because I'm apparently very bad at issuing that I liked something, which is very German.
Pass.
I really liked it. It was fun. Also, it's always fun to watch this movie with friends and hanging out. So, let's look at more questions. When do we already answered that? Already answered that. Trivia question by Ryan. What was the first words that were said on the moon? I have no idea. What were the first words that were said on the moon?
Probably the ones that I said before, the contact light and AC out of detent and engine stop. Those were probably the first few words, and then they relate to the ground. Tranquility Base here, the Eagles has landed. I just heard those comms nets a lot of times because I rewatch many. Oh, okay. Yeah, someone says okay was also one of the words. Okay, yeah.
I want to point out that at some point we did trivia quizzes with our members, and there was a time where Alex was explicitly not allowed to take part in these because playing trivia quizzes with Alex is like the most boring thing ever because he will know everything and answer faster than you. That's just a fact. So he was banned. We banned him from trivia quizzes.
It is true. It is true. They banned me.
Last point, was contact light the first word? First words? I think it might be actually because that's when the pins underneath the legs of the lander start touching the surface and start digging in. That's when the contact light turns on. Yeah.
Follow 11.
That's now I just have a bunch of people tagging the NASASpaceflight account with their favorite movies. So I'm right now trying to find out.
You got to read them out.
Oh yeah.
We have Interstellar, which I have seen. I want to point that out.
Yeah, that was a good movie until the bookcase scene.
Yeah, the book. I'm still
sorry,
confused
Adrian.
by that.
You won't have any idea what we're talking about, will you? Because you've not.
I have seen Interstellar. I have seen Interstellar.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but you know why? Because the music is done by Hans Zimmer.
Ah,
so
yeah, it's a great soundtrack. Yeah, that is great.
Yeah, so
no time for caution. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't care about the movie, but the music is nice. So that's my go-to.
There'll be people joining right now going, "Boosters rolled out." All he's talking about movies.
A friend of mine literally convinced me to go to Dune because Hans Zimmer made the music. So that was literally how I was convinced.
Contact light, okay, engine stop, AC out of detent, modes control both auto, descent engine command override off, engine arm off, 413 is in. Those were the first few words.
So contact light was the first.
Yep, contact light.
Yeah, there we go. Woo!
Jeff Rove with another Red Team membership he gifted. Thank you so much. And Kim with a €20 super chat. Time for pizza for the team. So we get to enjoy. Look, we are now committed. We have to eat pizza today. So thank you so much for the €20. The best currency I would like to add. Let's see. I'm just getting movie answers here.
You just said the best currency.
Yeah, euros are the best currency.
The exchange rates tell you you're a liar.
Exchange rates. That's just
Oh come on! Even Ryan is in the background saying, no. Euros are really nice. Let's be honest.
But Ryan has the curly L's.
Yeah, the Brits don't count.
There we go.
We could get so political right now.
No, not that kind of counting. Okay, let's not go that way.
Ryan's just spamming pound signs in the back channel.
This is perfect. Sometimes
I was
this back
just
channel.
Joking.
At some point we should just do a membership video of like the best quotes in the back channel. It would be hilarious. Yeah. Did Booster 9 complete its testing campaign? Okay, just to recap here, because apparently while we are talking about all of these L's, what's happening here, Alex? Where's Booster 9 in its test campaign, and what's happening here?
Okay, so Booster 9 completed its cryogenic proof test campaign way back when, actually before the first flight of Starship. It came here, it got, cryo tested, they loaded a lot of nitrogen on it and make sure that it doesn't leak, that it can sustain the cryogenic temperatures and all of that. And now, so basically they roll it back as soon as it completed. They put the engines, they put a lot of upgrades that we've sort of talked about in the last hour and a half here of, you know, more charges, more explosive charges for the flight termination system. They've also added better shielding that they have on the engines as well. They have a whole array of things that are new on this engine, on this booster. And that was done in the last pretty much 5-6 months there at the Mega Bay, and now it's coming back here. It's there at the launch site to be tested with fire. I guess, right? The trial of fire here with the engines being trial by fire. There you go. I it was hard to come with the word, but yeah. Now it's the time when those engines are going to be tested with the vehicle, and not only the vehicle, the pad itself, because we saw that rock tornado, that crater that the first flight left on the pad just almost 3 months ago, just by a few minutes off. And so that's going to be a really big deal.
And we should also recap, because we still get that question. Not everybody was here since the beginning of the stream. Where's the hot staging ring?
Ah, yeah. It's out there. But we expect that to happen down before the flight, even before they stack the ship on top, because the ship quick disconnect, the umbilicals that provide all of the fluids, all of the power to the ship, that has been raised by about 6 feet, by about 1 ring. And so we expect that to basically be installed before they stack a ship on top. Otherwise, they will not be able to stack a ship on top and also provide all of that stuff that the quick disconnect provides the ship for a flight.
There we go. That was a quick recap of why we are even live. We have Jeff Rove here with a Red Team membership gifted. Thank you so much. We have Rockboy the Boss with a Capcom membership. Thank you so much. It gives you access to our membership Discord. So make sure to install Discord and join our membership program. That's a really, really cool place to hang out, especially if you like a lot of nerd rocket talk and a lot of derailed channels that are going off topic every day.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. I make sure all the channels stay on topic at all times.
Says the biggest off-topic offender of the whole Discord.
Alright, guilty as charged.
Booster 9 is moving into place. Look at that. They're moving it right under the chopsticks.
There we go. So basically this will probably be the last big movement for a few hours. This is where they will start to like fix it and get ready to lift it. Also we have 10 Red Team memberships here from Dean Brilhart. Thank you so much. 10 Red Team memberships. Like again, I sound so like a broken record, but it's so generous today. So many gifted memberships. It's really insane. Thank you so much. Music Dark here with 11 euro super chat. Again, good currency. You should give Adrian a spreadsheet with special dates.
Yeah.
That would probably help. Sorted by year and dates, please. And also we have Anonymous with Storm messages. I've been a space nerd from the first flight of Mercury with the monkey. I may not be around to see us on Mars, but I'm planning to be here to watch us put American feet back on the moon. With a Storm message, and they got... And again, we still have some patches of our first flight patch set. So make sure to get them while they're there. Because they are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. We will remove them, they will be gone. So thank you so much all for that support. It really helps us out, and I just wanted to thank everybody while we're here. So let's...
I think we've got a tweet, haven't we, Adrian?
Do we have a tweet? Oh, there we go.
We do have a tweet from Mary.
Wow. Always cool to see Mary tweet, and that's... I love that. Just like casual, hey, there's a booster passing down.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's always nice to see.
It's so cool. It really puts also in perspective how big these things are. I love it. Thanks for Mary for sharing that picture.
I wonder what that hub is. It looks quite new.
I think it's like a... if I recall correctly, it's like a hangout place for SpaceXer. Like...
Nice.
I think it's like a If I'm not totally wrong here, it's like just a hangout place in the village, but I'm not fully sure here. Somebody might correct me here. So, yeah. And we have slowly but surely Booster 9 reaching its final rolling destination before the lifting destination. So that's that's happening.
I'll add that Booster 9 looks really impressive. We've seen the early ships, the early boosters. If you put us side by side with them, you would see the difference. Booster 9 looks very nice.
Oh, you know where you can see a difference there?
Where?
By our member pictures, because Jack actually shot. Yeah, he went out there to the rocket garden behind where all of that thing is basically in the middle of nowhere, and he shot. There's like a picture of Booster 4, Booster 9, and Booster 11. So you can see Booster 4 is mostly rusted and like gold plate or something. It's weird because it's rusting, and so it's turning brown.
Yes, to be fair, like sometimes there's a certain bias in rating these prototypes because they look good at the beginning and then they rust. So there's some sort of bias where people are always like, oh, this looks so nicer than everything else, and like, yeah, but it's also just rolling out. Give it like 2 months. So that's also a factor of it. But yes, it certainly looks cleaner than other prototypes before. We still have the booster moving inside the chopsticks. They're moving the booster right now there to that area to attach these chopsticks in a bit there. And basically the next step would be to lower the chopsticks, then to attach the booster, and then lift it. This process usually takes a few hours, so we'll see. Yeah, this is because also one thing they also have to do is to unbolt it from the SPMTs. Because it's still fixed on the SPMTs with like bolts and everything, and that also has
from
to.
The stand.
Yeah, sorry, from the stand that is sitting on top of the SPMTs.
There you go. Yeah, there's also the fact that what I told before, that the quick disconnect, the same thing that we talked about with the ship, the booster also has a quick disconnect umbilical, and that one has all of the ports closed off. So they probably need to go out there and basically remove all of those as well before they put the booster on the OLM. Yeah, this is a very carefully choreographed sequence of events where they have to position the booster in the right location for the chopsticks to come down, hug it, they lift up, there are like pins at the top of the booster that need to go into the arms. It's a whole thing, right? And then like little adjustments with the stabilizers. Even the stand has its own pins that are used to be able to lift the booster cleanly. It's a whole thing. Even the OLM has as well pins, so it's pins and arms all the way down.
Yeah, I also have one thing I want to share with you all here, because a certain Jack Bayer went out today and got some pictures, and I think this is an amazing shot we want to show you. Like, look at this, like with the light exposure. I think, my opinion is this should be a metal print. Yeah. And I will.
Chat. Do you like it? Do you want a metal print of that? I'm sure they'll say yes. I
want that. I want that on my wall. Chris, what do you think? Do you want that on your wall?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, I think that's a print. That's a print. It looks amazing. Thanks again for Jack for rolling out. Like, special shout outs to Jack and Kevin here, because they had an early morning.
Yeah, look
we
at
Europeans.
Chat is 100% yes. Normally we get some like scallywag who'll just do no for the sake of being different, but they're all yeses.
Yeah, it's this. We'll make sure to, once that is available.
There's Daniel the scallywag.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's another
beautiful
one.
picture.
That's another good one. See, Jack is like dumping pictures on the back channels here.
You'll get these in the memo program, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Secret. Okay, let's look at what we have here. Rod asking here with $1.90 in super chat. Please explain the new look. Please explain the new look of this booster while we have this picture here. Oh my god, that's just. I love the Starbase sign. I love it. I love it. It's giving it so much more ambience at night. It's also very cool to just drive through. So yeah, I'm glad we got these pictures. I think we will have some new prints in the store soon, and that might be for our live stream that will start later. But we'll get to that in a bit. Jack promised one more.
Jack says, wait, one more.
like the meme. But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
There's one more picture Jack wants to show, and then if he rolls out early, he gets to show these. That's the rule. We don't make the rules, and you don't know the rules, and so do I.
Oh, come on.
I had to do it. We can also see the chopsticks now in the position. Just go on. In the position, and they will soon go lower and then close in for the booster to be grabbed and lifted on the OLM. So that's what's happening over the next few hours in Starbase. So that's nice. Also, I like that they just waited for the perfect light conditions today, where they delayed it until sunrise, and we got to see all of these amazing shots, which is nice, because I don't like rollouts at night. What was that rollout of the steel plate? That was not a good time, SpaceX.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
do that.
that was horrible.
That was absolutely horrible.
Sunrise. That's where it is. Yeah.
It was. Please don't do that, SpaceX. That's. I don't like to do this like 3 a.m. streams. To be fair, as a European, like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. is the worst, because then you're in a situation where you're like, okay, we have to wake up at 4 a.m. That's horrible.
I went through till 6 o'clock in the morning, my time, for that Starlink launch. Like,
Your sleep schedule is so funky.
It's not good.
Yeah, the hardest thing at NSF is to track when everybody sleeps.
Yeah,
because
I have no comments.
Yeah, Alex is one to talk.
Yeah,
Alex. No comments.
Alex is on like the thinnest ice ever, and that's because he lives in Spain and it's hot there, so the ice is melting. But
oh, Jesus.
I'm on a roll. It's not stopping. I'm just stalling time here for the third picture.
And some of the Sawyer going, I should be on the stream right now.
I'm just waiting for the third picture to arrive that Jack promised us, as we are looking at our next flight stack here. Left, you have ship 25 on Pad B, right? That's Pad B.
Yeah.
And
I wish we could draw like that and be like, see, you circle the ship, and then with a like an arrow, and it goes on top of this.
And then there's like this firing. We need still the hot staging ring. That's the important part.
True.
Ironically, I've got Daz's pen tool for Daz Art on the OBS, but for some reason I think Daz must have a better system than mine, because I've tried drawing on the screen. It comes across like a 3-year-old who's had too much like sugar. It doesn't work for some reason. I just can't draw. Never had me able to draw, but yeah, there's ways of doing this on OBS, but I've yet to master using a cursor and the tool itself.
I think. Let me just look.
There's Jack's. Wait, there's more.
Yeah, we'll wait until Kevin gives us the heads up, because we need to wait until the producer tells us that we can display a picture.
Yeah.
But you can see the
chopsticks are going down.
Yeah, they're now moving into a position where they will start to be attached to this booster.
I would add to new people that it doesn't mean they're going to lift in like an hour. They'll lower it down, they'll get booster rolled closer, and then they'll start doing a lot of testing before they'll hook up the What's the bottom of the arms called? Stabilizers. There we go. The stabilizers to the booster, and then they'll lift it. So it's a while away yet, but this is still. I will say this is fast. They're definitely doing what I thought they'd do. They'll try and reduce the timelines on these flare cadences, as they call them, and that's certainly a sign of doing that now.
Yeah, when we say that it takes a while, it's that it'll take a few hours, but not, weeks or anything to lift it.
Yeah,
you can
it's
see
like
that
every
in the picture.
Every other rocket company, it's like it will take a while, and a while will make mean like 2 months. For SpaceX, like it will take a while, like 2 hours. It's forever. It's
Oh, before we talk about the picture, can I quickly just say to Death Rubles, is there any plans for a UK meetup? Yeah, we've got one planned in September for Leeds. We're going to meet just like a pre-meet. There's at least 20 going already to that one in September. If you go into our Discord, it's in the NSF meetup channel, and then we'll do a proper one which I'll tweet out to everybody in Leicester after that as well. So the first one's in Leeds, like a pre-meet, just like a casual one for drinks, in early September, and then we'll do one in Leicester. The Leicester one we'll put on Twitter. The first one in Leeds is just for like the members and stuff like that, because we'll do a pre-meetup.
I still need to check out, like, is there a way to fly into Leeds?
Yeah, they've got an airport, but it's like way out of the city, so it's probably fast just going to a normal airport and getting a train to Leeds station.
Wait, they have an airport?
Yeah, Leeds Bradford Airport, Eden.
Okay.
I need to talk to you about that at some point, Chris, and talk about like maybe me flying in as well. And also look at that picture. If you had to pick, Chris, which of the 3 pictures we saw so far would be a metal print?
All 3.
Yeah, okay, that's my pick as well. We need them all.
I like the first one.
There's a 4th.
The first one it'd look amazing on the wall, because I've got so many metal prints already on my wall as it is. I think my favorite one is the kind of like the lighting with the orange, and I think the one like you know what I'm like. I'm an 80s child, so that first one for me is just like really cool. I like these kind of lines ever since I watched Tron. Sorry, another movie, Adrian.
I have not watched that movie. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see what we have here. We have the chopsticks. Oh my god,
That's the 4th picture. The circle of life.
I'd sing the song, but I'm such a good singer, I don't want to get a copyright strike.
Yeah. Let's not get there.
I don't think anybody of us can sing good enough that we get a copyright strike. Like
a strangled cat.
Yeah, I wouldn't provoke a copyright strike with my singing, I can tell you that. Okay, let's see. We see the chopsticks now being lowered, and they will now cruise in soon. But again, soon meaning this will be operations over the day. This will not happen like in minutes. So it is time to wrap this stream, because we are in a situation where we will wait now. That doesn't mean we won't stream again today, because if they are going for lift and put this on the stand, we will go live again.
Yeah.
Until then, we will all throw you to our Starbase live stream, where you can watch all of this action, of course, happening. But before that, I want to thank some people here, starting with Alex. Thank you so much, Alex, for being my co-host for all the stream here.
Yeah, it's been really exciting, and obviously, it's gonna be amazing seeing all of this testing. It's gonna be lifted soon, and it's gonna be exciting to see those engines when they lift it, because we are always looking for that.
Absolutely. I want to also thank Chris Bergen for joining us in the stream. Thank you, Chris.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Perfect. Jack is no longer on comms with us, but I want to thank Jack as well for rolling out there and providing us with amazing views, amazing everything, I have to say. And thank you, Jack. That was very, very amazing. And also amazing was Kevin Michael Reed in the back channel, making sure we get amazing views today. Which was, it was a very enjoyable stream, I have to say. I really enjoyed this whole rollout. So thank you all for joining me. My name is Adrian Bile. I'm a writer for NSF, and with that, we'll send you all over to Starbase Live to watch the rest of the booster getting prepared for lift, and we will be back once the lift starts. See you all there.
And here we go.
We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Rolling up. Roger, Atlantic.
Water towers fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Say again, FD off. Off. It's orange! 145! Oh my god! Oh my god! Decollage. Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You dead? Sure. We don't need any more of these.